Her family refused to accept her choice, but her heart had already decided. The first time she saw him, her heart felt both danger and home all at once. It was in the quiet corner of a small, dimly lit cafe, the kind where sunlight barely kissed the wooden tables, where the scent of coffee lingered like memory. Her name was Aisha, and she was the kind of woman whose life was carefully arranged, a life of duty, of loyalty, of family expectations that weighed more than her own desires. But in that brief moment when their eyes met, something fierce and unpredictable ignited inside her. The world she had known, of careful smiles, of obedient gestures, of unwavering devotion to family, seemed suddenly fragile. She felt as if she was standing on the edge of a cliff, staring at the unknown, heart pounding, knowing she might fall but wanting to fall anyway. If you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Aisha came from a family that measured worth in appearances and in obedience. Her parents, proud and unyielding, had envisioned a life for her that had been planned since she was a child. A respectable marriage to a family they approved, a home that mirrored their own, and the comfort of tradition that left no room for rebellion. She had always been dutiful, compliant, the perfect daughter. Yet deep in the quiet of her room at night, beneath the soft hum of the ceiling fan, her heart whispered secrets she could not speak aloud. And then came him, Zion. He was everything her world had never allowed, reckless in his kindness, fearless in his dreams, tender yet unrestrained. Their connection was immediate, an undeniable magnetism that drew her out of her safe, measured life, and into something raw and alive. The risk began small, a stolen glance, a lingering touch, a conversation that stretched long into the night over whispered calls that left her trembling with both guilt and exhilaration. Each moment felt like a rebellion against the invisible chains of family expectation, yet she could not stop herself. She knew that if anyone discovered the depth of her attachment, the consequences would be severe. Her parents' wrath was something spoken of in hushed tones, a storm she had been warned to never invoke. But love, as it often does, blinded her to reason. The more she tried to contain her feelings, the more impossible it became. One evening, Zion invited her to a place that felt like a secret sanctuary. It was an abandoned pier by the river, where the water shimmered like liquid glass beneath the silver moon. Aisha's heart raced as she stepped onto the wooden planks, her fingers brushing against his. He looked at her with a seriousness she had never seen, a depth of emotion that both terrified and anchored her. He asked her if she would take a risk, the kind of risk that could change everything, that could shake the very foundation of the life she had built. The weight of the question pressed against her chest. To love him openly was to betray the family she adored. To deny him was to betray her own heart. In that moment, Aisha realized that she was standing at a crossroads, and for the first time she chose herself. The days that followed were a storm of secrecy and tension. Aisha moved through her home like a ghost, careful to mask her inner turmoil. She attended family dinners, smiled at relatives, and upheld every expectation, all while planning moments of escape with Zion in the quiet of the night. The thrill of their secret encounters was intoxicating, yet the fear of discovery gnawed at her relentlessly. Every creak of the floorboards, every unexpected knock, sent her heart into a panic. Yet in those stolen hours, walking hand in hand beneath the soft glow of streetlights, sharing whispered dreams, she felt truly alive. It was the kind of love that demanded everything, and she was ready to give it. I want you to pause for a moment here. If this story is stirring something in you, if you've ever faced a choice that seemed impossible, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support fuels these stories of courage and heart. But courage comes at a price. One evening, as Aisha returned home after an hour with Zion, she found the air thick with tension. Her mother's voice, usually warm and measured, trembled with anger and hurt. Her father's stern eyes held disbelief and disappointment. They had discovered the truth. Aisha's heart sank, But there was no room for hesitation. She stood tall, meeting their gaze, knowing that whatever happened next would redefine her life. She told them everything, about Zion, about her feelings, about the choices she had made. Every word was a dagger of honesty, painful and liberating. Her parents' grief was tangible, a crushing weight that made her question the morality of her decision. Yet in her chest, the fire of love refused to die. Her family reacted with the full force of shock and betrayal. Arguments erupted, sharp and unyielding. Aisha endured nights of silent tension, of doors closed in anger, of relatives whispering about her supposed folly. But in the midst of this turmoil, something extraordinary happened. Zion, steadfast and unwavering, never faltered. He became her anchor, a reminder that love could be both a sanctuary and a revolution. In his eyes, she saw the reflection of the woman she had always wanted to be, brave, authentic, unafraid. Months passed, and the struggle slowly transformed. Aisha's parents, while wounded, began to see the depth of her commitment and the sincerity in Zion's heart. It was not immediate, healing rarely is. But with time, moments of vulnerability opened cracks in the walls they had built around their expectations. They witnessed his patience, his respect, his unwavering support for Aisha, and gradually understanding replaced anger. It was not perfection, but progress. A fragile, precious form of reconciliation. Through it all, Aisha learned the profound truth that love is not only about passion or desire, but about courage, honesty, and sacrifice. She realized that sometimes, to honor her heart, she had to risk the life she had known, to embrace uncertainty, and to confront the judgment of those she loved most. Each choice she made came with pain, but also with the exhilaration of authenticity. The nights of fear, the days of tension, the heartache of familial disappointment, all of it forged her into someone stronger, someone unafraid to claim her own happiness. In the end, the woman who once lived in quiet compliance became a symbol of resilience. Her story spread quietly among friends and neighbors, whispered in admiration. Aisha and Zion, though not without challenges, built a life together grounded in mutual respect, shared dreams and unwavering love. Their love had not been easy, had not been simple, but it was real, an unbreakable force that taught everyone around them that sometimes the hardest choices carry the deepest rewards. Before we end this story, I want to ask you something very special. If this tale has touched your heart, if it has made you believe, in courage, in love, in choosing your own path, please leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, your feelings, or your own story of bravery. It means more than words can express. Aisha's journey reminds us all that life is not about perfection, nor about never faltering. It is about daring to love fully, daring to be true to ourselves, and daring to risk everything for what we hold sacred. And if her story has moved you, if you feel that warmth in your chest, that quiet spark of hope, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs inspiration, and subscribe to our channel. Because courage, kindness, and love, these are the things that can change the world, one heart at a time.